One of my favorite movies growing up was The Sound of Music. I saw it when it came to theaters, and I know I'm dating myself when I say I had to wait for it to come back to theaters to see it again because there was no such thing as VCRs at the time. You could not take it home and watch it anytime you wanted to. I was always amazed at Maria von Trapp dealing with 7 children. It was just a mystery to me how someone could do that. She must have been a saint. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm no saint, but having 7 children has defined my life over the last 22 years. When my husband and I got married, we were in our late 20s, and I told him I wanted a boy and a girl, the boy first, thank you very much. And he told me, you better pray about it because we're having at least 5 or 6. Probably something we should have discussed before we got married. Well, I'm happy to say that he was right and I was wrong, and I'm very thankful for the family we have. We have 6 beautiful daughters and 1 son. The kids range from ages 11 to 22. And here is a picture of my beautiful family. My daughter made this book for me last Mother's Day. We started homeschooling our children back in 1996. It has been tough at times. There were years when I felt like I was completely failing in what we were doing. However, I've seen the fruit in my children's lives, and I'm very thankful that that is the direction that God led us. We have 2 of our daughters that are now graduating from Lee, both of them married. And the oldest one, she and her husband had a beautiful baby girl a couple years ago, and her name is Adelaide, or Addie as we call her, and that's her there. I was raised in California, both at the beach and in the city. I had 1 brother. This large family dynamics were completely new to me. My dad would take us to the ocean every weekend during the summer, and I just was totally a California beach girl. As a young adult, I could not imagine why anyone would live anywhere but California. However, as we got older and we had children, I realized it was not a culture that I wanted my children raised in. And my husband and I decided to move to Colorado in 1994, and it was a really good move for us. And we stayed there until 2009 when we moved here to Tennessee. I have to say that although I miss the mountains and I miss my friends, I don't miss driving in snow, which I don't have to do here in Tennessee. Well, at least not very much. When it came time to move from Colorado, it wasn't difficult to figure out where to go. My husband had been flying out to Tennessee every semester for 2 to 3 weeks for his intensive for his doctorate program at the Pentecostal Theological Seminary. And he was coming up on working on his dissertation, and being where the library was a really good call for him. However, for me, the biggest draw was my little grandbaby. I wanted to be where she was. And so we moved here in 2009, and it's been a good move. My parents moved with us, and so you could say we're kind of like the Waltons. We have 12 people in the house at the moment, my daughter and her husband and baby, a friend visiting from Israel for an extended period of time, my parents, and then my kids and my husband and I. There is never a dull moment in our household. We as a family feel like God is calling us to Israel. My husband has been a missionary to Israel since 1982. I myself have taken 3 trips over there, and we've taken the children with us, a couple of the kids with us each time we've gone. And I'm fortunate in that my husband has planned different routes each time, so we've been able to see places like France and Germany and Holland and spend some time in those places. It's been a very enriching experience for me. And now we're looking at the possibility of being over there on a more full-time basis, which we're excited about, although we will miss the family that stays behind. I have been previously seeking my bachelor's degree at Tennessee Tech University to get my accounting degree, which I started way back in the 80s. But now that we're looking at moving potentially over to Israel, it seemed more suiting to get a ministry degree, which is why I've joined the CAPS program. And by being part of the CAPS program, I can continue my education even if we're over in Israel on the Mount of Olives. As a missionary, I know there'll be plenty of times where I'm going to have to speak in front of people, in churches where we're going to be itinerating, trying to raise support. And I think it's important that I know how to speak and present myself, and that's what I'm hoping this public speaking class will do for me, make me more confident in both the preparation and the presentation.